Guess what's in this Red Sox mug that my sister got me for my birthday?
I'm gonna say the Trader Joe's.
No.
Something else.
Yeah, it's something that one probably wouldn't put in a mug, but I did it anyway.
Water?
No.
It could be literally anything.
It's root beer.
I was gonna say I could have guessed like 50 more times where I got
Yeah,
to
you
that.
could have, but
But it's like it's beer,
technically.
which somehow makes it better out of it. Like it's a Stein. It's beer in a Stein.
Yes, there we go. It's a
I
Stein.
find that very
I have things I'm excited about other than just the fact that I'm now 25 and decrepit. I'm so mean.
funny.
Um
Yourself though, so
yeah. Um so I believe I've mentioned this on the podcast before as like a general PSA to any to fellow members of the like fan fiction community who might listen to this. Um there had been for quite some time some like swirling rumors of fanfiction.net going down, but now they appear to be active again. And one of the things that tipped me off to this was not any like Twitter discourse or anything. It was the fact that one of my I randomly got an email to my like fanfiction email account telling me that one of my stories on FFN had been deleted because it violated the rules,
oh,
which like is fine. I have that story saved. Like I have multiple redundancies of that fix saved, but like the site is now being like moderated again, and I fixed this before we started.
oh,
Okay. But yeah, it now appears that the site is like being moderated again, and the fiction press is like the owners of fanfiction.net. Like the Twitter account is active again, so like I'm still gonna tell people if you have anything there, one, save your own work, two, save anything else that you want to read that you can't find anywhere else. I'm gonna tell people to still do that, but I don't know if it's imminently going down anymore, which is kind of cool.
oh, nice. There's only so many, communities like that online.
Mm-hmm. So who knows? That's maybe some positive news. But the lead up to my birthday this year was great because on April 7th we had a new Powerwolf album, which absolutely fucks, and I will be linking all of these things in the description. And then like April 9th, yeah, 8th and 9th, there was like a bunch of activity from Ghost. We got a new cover EP. We've got new song, new music video, new lore video. I'm living.
Nice.
I have never been less sane. So I'm just having a really great time. I don't know about you. What's up with you?
Let me tell you, I have so many things for the worsening this week. I can use one of them now. So
Okay.
especially because we didn't record last week.
Oh yeah. I'm bad.
So much worse. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I've been traveling pretty much every single weekend, haven't really had time at home. And so I'm like behind on work and I was like, man, today I'm gonna like catch up on work. I had nothing scheduled all day up until this. And I was like, I'm just gonna run a couple of quick errands. And I had this thought in my head that I've been really wanting to make a quilt for my bed, like queen sized quilt. And I went to Joann Fabrics, and 6 hours later, I got home. Now, I wasn't in the Joann Fabrics for 6 hours. I had to go to three different Joann Fabrics to get all of the fat quarters that I needed.
Don't you
So
already have a quilt kit that you haven't used?
I started it actually the other day. But I kind of got obsessed with this idea of like, I don't want my down comforter on my bed anymore. A nice like quilt would be delightful. And now I got to start it. Uh, so I started it. I got a bunch of squares here that I've been cutting up.
I love it.
So apparently now I quilt
Cool. Actually,
into my old lady craft.
that actually brings me to another thing that is, I mean, just an exciting thing for me. I want you to guess what Kyle got me for my birthday.
A sewing machine.
Did I already fucking tell you?
No, he asked me about it like when you guys were here.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm really excited about that.
yeah. I was wondering what one he got you.
Um, he got me a Singer SC220.
Okay.
I
I
don't
have a
know if that
singer,
actually means anything to you, but
not the specific model number, but Singer Club, what? You can see the very edge of mine right there.
hell yes, bestie. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
really exciting, and now I get to do all the fun stuff. Like I also went to Joanne's earlier before we recorded, because I had stolen. Think I already said this, and like the reason he got me a sewing machine was because I was like constantly going to my mom's house to be like, I need to work on cosplay stuff, and then since I'm still working on the Terzo cosplay, I was like, I need to borrow your, like, I'm stealing your sewing machine until September. And she was like, okay. So that's why he got it for me, which, like, oh, king.
Hmm.
But I returned her machine and also, like, all of the other various things I had stolen from her fabric shears and seam ripper and all this fun stuff. So I got to go to Joann's today and get all my own stuff. And also
That's
now I get to get like a fun case for it.
yeah.
It's just I'm
Yeah,
very pleased.
I've also been getting like a bunch of little accessories as I've been working. I was like, I really need a longer like ruler to use with my rotary cutter, and so I got like a 2 foot long ruler, and I was like,
Hell
we just got a little
yes.
square one, so I got another little square one,
I love that
and
for
I
you.
got a new seam ripper. I already had one, but this one has an ergonomic grip.
Maybe it's a good thing that you and I like don't see each other in person all that often because like we are like a danger to ourselves and others.
Yeah, I
We are
mean,
menaces to society.
if I didn't know that I couldn't get the camera back to where it should be if I moved it, I would show my setup over here, which is just getting increasingly just involved.
I love it.
Hmm.
Okay, great. So
Like
that's we're starting off with one way that both of us are worse, and
so
it's
much
the
worse.
same way.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm only going to be gone running errands for like an hour, and then it was 6 hours, and I got like no work done.
Shocker.
It was like, oh, oops.
You
But I'm also
know,
in other ways that we'll talk about at the end.
amazing. Yeah, same. So am I.
Yeah.
um, The only thing that we have like slated for today is technically one thing, and it's one TikTok that I will be linking. We're not going to watch the whole thing through because it's kind of long and I don't feel like getting copyright claimed.
I didn't actually watch the TikTok.
Okay, great. It
I
doesn't
could.
matter. But this is I think similar to the one time we wound up discussing that list of red flags for like and that was
Mhm.
the entire episode. I think that's what this is going to be because this person made was talking about in their TikTok the unspoken scale for how intoxicated you are allowed to be at various like events, activities, holidays, whatever you want to call it. So I want to go through this scale that she lays out in the video, point by point, and decide if we agree,
Mhm.
and if we don't, we can discuss. So the
Okay.
scale is like it's a 1 to 10, 1 being tipsy, 10 being obliterated. Those are her words specifically, so we're going to do that. And this is the first place scenario, whatever you want to call it. On a plane, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being tipsy, 10 being obliterated, 6. Do we agree?
Like maybe that's slightly high.
Here's the thing. It depends on what you're on the plane for.
Okay.
Like if you are headed to like a bachelorette weekend in Vegas, as far as I'm concerned, you're allowed to be at an 8.
Well, first of all, one of the problems is if you drink too much liquid, like going to the bathroom on the plane, getting in and out of your seat, like
This is also true.
that would be a major concern. Like I've successfully pretty much never gone to the bathroom on a plane, including my 8 hour flight from Paris. Yeah, I
Okay.
just don't do it. Um, so there's that aspect of it, but like I guess it also depends on what kind of drunk you are, because if you get obnoxious even at a six, like
Yeah, then
you're at
that's
a
not good.
time space with strangers. Like
Hmm.
that's not cool, right? So that's why I feel like I would go four personally.
Okay. I can live with. Explain.
So, you get like a nice kind of heavy buzz, we might call it.
I think that's fair. I don't think we need to be writing these down necessarily, but I think I would say we agree on amending the 6 to a 4. Although again, if you're heading to a party, I'm going to say that depending on the person that you are, if you're not an asshole, even an 8 is permissible.
But even, so like I'm not an asshole when I drink. I in fact get a little too like expressive.
Yeah.
Which is the thing. I would probably annoy the heck out of people. I just want to start conversations with random people on the
I mean,
plane.
here's the thing. Sometimes you just have to be other people's problem.
Mm, I don't know if that's useless.
Anyway, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
The next event scenario, whatever you want to call it, someone else's wedding that you were invited to. 10.
So, do we know this person?
Yes. Like
Okay.
you expressly were invited. You are not somebody's plus one. You received an invitation with your name on it. 10.
Someone else. Depends on who the someone else is. Because, like, if it's a family member, I'm probably going to keep it to a five. If it's a friend, it's a 10.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. There is a caveat there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I don't want my judgy relatives like, giving me the
Yeah.
side eye the whole time versus, like, the last time I went to one of my friends' weddings is like open bar. Let's just drink as much as we want.
Yeah, no,
And we
I'm
did.
okay, yeah. I agree with that caveat. If it's like a friend or so like or if it's like your cool cousin,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
10. If
But even if it's your cool cousin, you still got a lot of family there.
so maybe this also just depends on your family.
Yeah.
Like if your family is chill, go nuts.
Yeah.
Your own wedding, 7.
I feel like that's high.
Really?
Because I feel like I don't want to make a fool out of myself. I don't want to trip on my dress. I want to make sure I remember everything. I want to be able to stay on task and like get the pictures of people that I want to get and stuff like that. Versus if I drink, I'm just gonna go like,
I mean, I can be a pretty functional 7, I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah, well, and this is the thing is like we probably have different scales.
Probably, but we don't have time to break that down. So,
Yeah, but my seven I think is probably higher than your seven.
I'm sure it is.
So when I imagine myself as a seven at like my own wedding, it sounds like a bad idea.
Okay, fair enough. So then maybe we amend that to a 6. Because, like, 5 is too low. This is your event, you should be higher than a 5.
If you want to be.
Or maybe that's just me because I like attention.
Yeah, not really my thing.
Like, not even like I need, like, this is a thing that I am using to get attention. It's the fact that, like, I want to enjoy this even more. I love
Hmm.
attention.
Hmm.
Which is a fascinating thing about me because I am also an introvert.
It is weird.
What is with my fucking camera?
Could not tell you.
I'm just gonna keep turning it off and back on because I don't feel like getting up to fix it again. So we're just gonna ignore it.
Okay.
Anyway, someone else's wedding that you are in the wedding party for.
I
7.
think that you can go higher.
You think you can go higher? Okay.
Because like if
Hmm.
it were you getting married and like I was one of your bridesmaids, oh yeah, you better believe I'm getting obliterated.
I mean, one, you are already in my wedding party. I don't know when the hell I would be getting married, but you got the spot, bestie. Two, yeah, you are allowed. Here's the thing. I have said this to multiple people before. I want my wedding, like, reception, like the actual party, I want it to be insane. Like,
Yeah.
I want people to black out.
Yeah, so I think yeah, your wedding party being super duper drunk would enhance your experience.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's pretty much true for anybody because it gets entertaining.
Oh, yeah, no. But I think 7 as, like, a minimum of where you're allowed to be. Because 7 seems like a low cap. Let me put it that
It is.
way. It feels like a low cap, honestly. And it does depend on the person, but I guess if we're trying to, like, make these kind of, like, blanket scales for
Mhm.
anyone who might come across, maybe that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
I'd probably go 9.
I
So
personally would say a 9 as well, because I kind of don't want to break this down into too many categories of, like, well, if the person is like this, then X, but
yeah,
if not, then
well, yeah.
Y.
Obviously, there's always going to be like
Yeah.
caveats and things like that. But I think just broadly, for the people that would put you in their wedding party, they would know that you drink and they'd probably expect it and probably would be okay with you hitting a 9.
9 seems fair.
Yeah.
Um, Christmas Eve, 10.
Full agreement.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, you are allowed to be fully obliterated on Christmas Eve.
That's one of my favorite days of the year simply because I drink a whole bunch of Christmas beer and eat like spinach dip and it's delightful.
Oh my god,
That's all
yeah,
I
no,
want.
it's great. It's fantastic. Your significant other's birthday, 5.
Significant others. So like a birthday party or are you going
Yeah,
out
or
to
like you go. They. She doesn't really specify, so I'm gonna say it could be either.
Okay. Because I feel like that's different if you're in public versus like at home.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it also depends on what your significant other's birthday active. Again, we're getting too into the weeds here, but it does depend on what the activity is. Because if it's like, ooh, a fancy sit down dinner, that's one thing. But if they're like, I want to go fucking clubbing,
Yeah.
like then that's a
Yeah.
10, baby.
Yeah, but this is one of those things where it kind of needs a little bit more context
Yeah.
because like a lot of these, like Christmas Eve, it's going to be at home. A wedding, it's out in public, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus this one could be either.
Yeah.
And certainly there's different levels of what's acceptable depending on whether you're in public or private.
Mm-hmm.
And even like you say, the public location, like that'll differ as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say.
Which maybe
Like
is why it's a 5.
I think the rule is you always have to be 2 steps below your significant other.
Yes. Because if it's their birthday, they can get obliterated. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. If they want to hit a 10, you can hit an 8.
yeah. That seems like a very good rule. Any other person's event, you have to be 2 steps lower. Like, just in case you need to, like, help. That's,
You can
yeah,
be like the responsible one and
precisely. That is extremely fair. 2 steps lower whenever it is someone else's event, party, holiday, whatever. First date, 3. I'm gonna say hard agree there.
yeah, I was
That
gonna say
seems
I
kind
agree
of
with that as
perfect.
well. Yeah, because you want a little bit of a buzz because that might help with nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Precisely.
not so much that you're gonna act differently or embarrass yourself.
Mm-hmm. I love this one, and I personally agree with it. Seeing Bad Cinderella on Broadway, 10. Hard agree, you should not remember it. Andrew Lloyd Webber should have quit while he was ahead.
I don't even know what that is.
Keep it that way.
Okay. I take it it's a musical that is not good.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I do have to try and fix this.
Luna continues to be a loud cat.
I'm amazed and I love that for you.
Yeah, I don't get it. After more than 2 years, just all of a sudden, I like laying in laps. 2020.
Well, hello, Oliver. He's been enjoying the fact that I can open the. It's been nice enough lately for me to open the window in front of where his cat tree like sits.
Mhm.
So he's having a great time. Anyway, yeah, seeing Bad Cinderella on Broadway, you should be at a 10. You should not remember it. And I'm sorry that you had to be there in the first place. Second date, 4.
Second date 4. Yeah. So it's
Again,
just
like,
slightly more than first date.
yeah, you can increase it incrementally. Just bump it up little by little. Where?
Seems
Okay.
seems appropriate. Yeah. Because, they clearly liked you enough to
Mm-hmm.
go on a second date,
Yeah,
so you don't have to try quite as hard.
precisely. On a
So yeah,
boat, 6. I feel like this is one that kind of needs context, but also, like, if you're on a boat for fun, then yes. And
yes,
then,
as long
frankly, 6 might be a little too low, as long as you're not driving.
as that's what I was about to say. As long as you're not the one driving the boat.
Yeah. And then, honestly, 6 might be a little too low.
Yeah, I've been like a 7 on a boat.
That sounds delightful.
Margaritas
Yeah,
with beer.
honestly, I think that could stand to be a little higher.
Yeah,
On a
agreed.
beach, 8. Yes.
I feel like that might even be low. I feel like on a beach you can just let loose.
Here's the thing. Yes, but like I feel like you need to keep a little bit of your wits about you just cuz like you might be swimming.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming just being on the beach,
Mhm.
not in the water.
Oh, see? When someone says beach, my mind is like, yes, swimming is happening. There's no question about that. And I think that's one of the interesting differences between you and I as people.
Yeah, I'm not big on swimming in the ocean.
Weak.
When I go to the beach, my idea of fun is to like set up a nice umbrella and a beach towel or maybe a nice chair, get a book, some drinks.
I'm against none of those things, but also my ass is going in the water. Like, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably get toward the edge of it, but I'm not gonna go in it probably.
Weak. We've entered the bullying phase of the podcast episode. Um, at home by yourself on a Friday night, 5.
You know, this is just me personally. Like, I feel like that's such a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for me personally, I don't really like being drunk when I'm by myself. It just feels weird.
Yeah, I don't love it, but also sometimes I don't love it, but sometimes I'll be like, I have all. Picture this. I have all my shit done. Like everything is done. I have nothing to worry about. It's it's a Friday night. Maybe it's even coming up on a long weekend. I sit down. I play my games. Maybe it's a nice fall evening. So I'm sitting in a sleeping bag from the waist down. And I've been playing video games and listening to podcasts. And I've already had a beverage. Sometimes cracking that second beverage when you are alone by yourself on a Friday night under ideal circumstances, peak.
Yeah, I don't.
And
And
maybe
maybe
that's
this.
just me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just very much a social drinker. I don't really drink when I'm by myself.
I mean, I don't
And
really either, but also I live alone.
well, so do I.
So, like, sometimes it simply works out that way.
I've lived alone for pretty much my entire adult life. Uh, and like the few times that I've been even like semi drunk by myself, I just get frustrated because then I'm like, I want to knit, but I'm not doing it so well, so I guess I can't really do that. I'm gonna mess up my project, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
I can't. Oh
Yeah,
my god. That's fair.
yeah. I'm personally not a fan of it, but like, if you're by yourself, do what you want. Go
Yeah,
to a tent if that's what you want to do.
yeah. I mean, you're allowed to do whatever.
Yeah.
This is deeply fucking annoying.
Mm.
Audio listeners, you're really kind of lucky because you can't see that I'm just struggling with my camera in so many ways. And, like, for what? I don't know. Meeting your significant other's parents. 2. Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, honestly, the fact that we're even giving you a 2 is generous.
You know, it just occurred to me that what if we take these numbers and translate them into number of drinks? Because 10 drinks, you're obliterated.
Oh, yeah.
Because my first thought in looking at that when it says meeting your significant other's parents too, I'm like, yeah, I feel like 2 drinks is appropriate. And I'm like, wait,
You're so right. Yeah, so maybe
yeah,
that's how you can think of this.
yeah,
Um, yeah, you are allowed to have a second glass of wine when you meet your significant other's parents, but that's it.
yeah. Because I definitely think even if you weren't like acting differently, they'd be like, a third glass of wine, huh?
Yeah, unless they're like that TM.
Yeah. Who is my child dating?
Yeah. So yeah, there's maybe a fun way to think of this as you listen along. This is gonna drive me nuts. Hosting a dinner party. 4. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's appropriate.
That seems very appropriate. Attending
You
a
might-
dinner party. 7. Also agree.
Yeah, that feels right.
Like, as long as you have a ride home, you can have a little fun. You can have a little fun.
Yeah.
Any holiday from May to August. 10. Yes, and I do like the caveat that's added of unless you're the host, then 7.
Because you gotta stay a little bit
Yeah, like,
aware.
you gotta man the barbecue and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hard agree for both of those.
Yeah, that feels right.
Your parents' wedding vow renewal. 5. Until they start drinking, then 10.
I'm gonna
This
go
is
back.
very specific, and I honestly don't know.
I'm gonna go back to the 2 below rule.
I think the 2 below rule is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I accidentally skipped one though, or skipped one in the order that this person announced them. Your cousin's bar
Oh,
or bat mitzvah. 10. I am not Jewish.
yeah.
Sure.
I've never attended one, but that feels
Yeah, it feels right.
for a child.
Hmm.
It feels wrong because it's like a celebration for a child, but I don't know what's normal. Because it's like essentially the host is a child.
The host is
And
technically a child, but
I think that's another interesting one to potentially add on is like a kid's birthday party.
yeah. I'm also kind of surprised that Thanksgiving isn't on here because Thanksgiving, in my opinion, you're allowed to reach like a 9.
That's a good wine holiday.
That's a very good wine holiday, and I don't even like wine all that much.
Mm-hmm. White wine goes with turkey, and they just
No, oh no,
chug.
yeah, it's a good time.
chug.
And also there's always the walk with your cousin.
Sure, you've talked about that before.
Um yeah, I don't actually know about the bar bat mitzvah thing. For some
Yeah.
reason that kind of feels right, but I also don't know.
Yeah, again, that's why the only thing I could think that's close enough is like if you were going to a birthday party for somebody who's like turning 13. Would that feel right to hit a 10? I would say not, but
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe not, maybe.
yeah. Again,
And
I don't know what the vibe is.
yeah, I don't either. My frame of reference here is kind of non-existent. A night when you know that you're going to run into your ex. 4. that seems appropriate. You want the lowered inhibitions, the confidence. Like, if you know you're gonna go out to a club and, like, your ex is, like, a bouncer there, like, you are 100%. Like, it's like, picture this. It's the first club of the night. So you're not, like, you're not gonna be wrecked by this point. That is not the goal. You're bar hopping. You know your ex is a bouncer at the first or second bar. You should 100% be at a 4 by the time that you come face to face with this person, because you want the confidence of, like, having lowered your inhibitions a little bit. You're feeling yourself. Maybe single ladies just finished playing at the last club you were in. Like, I think that's 100% where you should be.
You seem to have put a lot of thought into that.
I'm getting very descriptive tonight, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I'd say 4 seems reasonable.
A night when you know you're gonna run into your crush. 5.
That also seems good.
Again, I am gonna say that also seems fair because, like, maybe you want to make bold moves and you don't want to be nervous about it.
You need that little extra.
Precisely. Girls' night out, 12.
On a scale
Yes.
from 1 to 10. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the final one, girls' night out, when you're going to go home and bother a man afterwards who's been waiting up for you. 17. And you're so
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
correct. There is
Yep.
nothing like when you get home and you know that somebody has, like, and you know that you are going to be able to bother someone who's been waiting for you. Oh
Yeah.
my God. So much fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
especially if you're coming home with multiple people and then one person sort of has to, like, herd the cats that you and your, like, band of drunk besties become. Fantastic. Immaculate vibes.
yeah. I remember one particular time coming home from a bachelorette party.
Ooh. Are these stories okay for the podcast? Because I'd love to hear them.
I mean, there's not really much to it, just the experience of having been out bar hopping and drinking excessively all night. I wore heels that I probably shouldn't have worn, and so I ended up walking barefoot around Columbus, Ohio.
We've all been there.
I'm
If
glad.
if not physically, in spirit.
Mm-hmm. And then my boyfriend came and picked me up at the end of the night.
Oh my God.
It was the
There's
middle.
nothing like bothering somebody who's, like, contractually obligated to put up with you when you're
Uh-huh.
hammered. It's great. It's so great because you'll just be, like, sitting there in the passenger seat, like, asking a million questions like a 5-year-old, just totally unself-aware. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Big fan.
Good time. Good time indeed. And now, since we do have a little bit of time, do we have anything that we can think to add to this? Is there anything missing from this list?
Well, so we've already mentioned Thanksgiving
Because
and
we did
kids'
mention
birthday.
the omission of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think kids' birthday parties should be on there because I think that that's.
Yeah, kids' birthday party is maybe like a 4.
Hmm.
Because here's the thing, I'm thinking, like, kids' birthday party in my family where it's, like, a lot of, like, I have a couple little cousins, but it's a lot of older cousins and a lot of, like, boomer aunts and uncles at this point. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's going to be a cooler of beer regardless of the fact that this is a child's birthday party. Like, if the extended family is attending, that's simply, like, a given.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you split off into your circles of conversation, like, all the older cousins hanging out. I think, though, like, in that sort of situation, I think a 4 is permissible.
Hmm. I haven't been to a kid's birthday party in a very long time.
That's fair.
What about like a wake?
Ooh, this could get real thorny. Cause, like, I'm sure we've all heard the notion of the Irish wake being, like,
Yeah.
a a bit of a rager, honestly.
Mhm.
So it really just depends on your family.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person who died.
Yeah.
Like, if what they would find a respectful level.
Yeah, no. And this is everyone's. Man, I'm talking about. We've talked about our funerals in 2 episodes now. That's fun. But I am giving everyone blanket permission to black out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just stating that again for the record.
Yep. Have fun with it.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, there's several holidays that aren't on there, but like some of them I think go without saying, like 4th of July.
Yeah, that's
That's
any
enough.
holiday from May to August, and you're
Oh,
allowed
that's
to
right.
hit a 10.
Yeah. 4th of July is not a night.
Christmas Day isn't on there, though.
And we always start with mimosas. So,
I feel like Christmas Day is a little different, and I can't quite articulate why. Maybe
yeah.
it's not quite a 10. Because I
Well,
feel
because
like,
usually it's like a big dinner day.
yeah, it's
And
more low key. I feel like it's maybe like a 7.
see, I wouldn't even go that high. I think it ends up being more like a 4 or 5.
Okay, that seems fair.
They're trying to help with like, making food and stuff like that. And so you can't get,
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll buy that. That seems fair.
yeah. New Year's goes without saying as well.
Oh, yeah, 15.
That's probably why it's not even on the list.
Yeah, like I don't think you need to discuss that.
Is it sad that in trying to think about other holidays, I thought about Bod Mod Day?
Stop.
It's a holiday.
You know, that's a holiday for us, and the issue therein lies that it's a holiday where we have to go out and do a thing.
Yeah.
Like, the thing has to occur first.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, fuck it, 10?
Afterwards, technically it well, should be 0.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know at least with tattoos, you're not supposed to drink for a couple days afterward because alcohol thins your blood.
Yep.
So it's technically supposed to be a 0 drink holiday.
I mean, sure, we can put it out there for public knowledge, but this isn't kind of an us thing only.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be cool if everybody else started?
This is why we need to get the podcast to take off somehow.
Just every year on August 14th, people be going out getting piercings, tattoos.
Everyone get piercings and tattoos on August 14th, and I don't know. Make us a thing, please.
Post them on Instagram and tag us.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. We don't have a podcast Instagram account, but you could do this. You could do that on Facebook or Twitter.
Right.
Or honestly, I'll make a podcast Instagram if people want it. Anyway.
Use Twitter. Post it on Twitter.
Yeah. See, like, I can think of some things, but they're all so. They can break down so far. Because, like, I could say, like, concert, but it depends on the band.
Yeah. What about like baby showers and bridal showers?
Ooh. Like a bachelorette weekend, 10, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like,
But like a bridal shower where it's like a Saturday afternoon and you're sitting in like the VFW giving gifts and playing silly bridal shower games.
maybe like a 6.
Yeah, that feels right.
Because I feel like there's probably going to be, like, ooh, mimosas. And, like, yeah.
Well, I've yet to go to a bridal shower that had alcohol actually.
I don't actually know what happens at a bridal shower.
I mean, you just go and you get presents. That's basically all it is. You're
Okay.
getting presents before the actual wedding where you get other presents. So it's like it's a way to get double presents essentially for whoever you invite to the shower.
Noted.
But then a baby shower,
I'm gonna say turn the fuck up to celebrate the fact that you're not the one who's having kids.
but then the thing is like the person hosting it can't drink.
That's on them. That's a
I
them
would
problem.
I would feel bad. And again, I've never been to a baby shower that had alcohol at it, so
Oh, okay, I don't know.
generally that's not what
Yeah,
they're going.
maybe I'm mean, but like, that's a them problem. That's their bad decision, not mine. Hi, Nix.
Before I thought about a baby shower, I was thinking about like the birth of someone's child. That's a life event.
That is a life event, but yeah, I don't really think that applies.
I don't know, like if I found out I got a new niece or nephew, like all the way over in Ohio, I'd be like, all right, we're celebrating, let's drink. And it's like, do you really need a drink? I'm like, this is a reason.
Yeah, no, I mean like, crack a beverage. I'm not gonna stop you, but also like, I don't care.
Mm,
And maybe this is because no one in any of my like circles at all
hmm
like is at that point in their life, but like,
hmm hmm
yeah, I don't know, bro. Hmm. It's so hard to think of is anything missing from a list, you know?
Yeah, because then you got to think about like the entire world's worth of
I
stuff.
know. It's like trying to prove a negative or like disprove a negative.
Yeah, yeah. I keep trying to think of like what are major life events, and it's like getting
Graduation.
oh graduation parties.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah,
You did it.
yeah,
You done
and
did it. Turn up.
yeah, and even if it's a high school graduation, like give that kid some alcohol.
Yeah. They're doing it anyway.
Yeah, they're
Like,
adults. It's fine.
it's whatever. Just let them do it in the house.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know they're safe.
Yeah, it's fine. Um, I'm saying this as a person who literally never got invited to like any party where any illegal activity went down in high
Mm.
school, like ever,
Mm.
ever. So
I was gonna say, we're saying this as two people who don't have kids. Like, yeah, let them drink at home.
it's again, it's not. I can say whatever I want. It's not my problem, and it's never going to be.
I'm trying not to sneeze.
Do you need a minute?
No,
Okay, cool.
just just explaining why I'm wiggling my nose like I'm bewitched. Right, it's bewitched.
Maybe.
She does a little. Yeah, that's bewitched. I dream of genius though.
Oh.
Anyway,
Sudden departure into old TV shows.
yes, before my time even.
Yeah. You know how like when people are old, they have like anniversary parties? Like you have a party like
Yeah,
for someone's like 50th anniversary or whatever?
yeah,
Maybe like a 7?
yeah. And that's one of those ones. Like I was thinking about the two below rule, but I honestly like. I feel like if it's just celebrating the fact that these two people have been together for so long, I'm like, yeah, I'm drinking, man.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're drinking
Actually,
or not.
I'm going to
I don't know
ask
why.
you about this one because I've never been to an event like this. Family reunion.
That's tricky because it depends on the family.
Of course. But like, what would you say the general vibe is?
See, the tricky thing is, from my perspective, is I have this big Irish Catholic family, and as you might imagine, based on stereotypes, there's more than one alcoholic in the family. So, and we usually have them at like public parks and stuff where you're not legally allowed to drink.
Mm-hmm. But say like somebody
And
like rents out like a banquet hall.
yeah, I mean, so in the cases where we haven't been in a place that was like a public place we couldn't drink, uh, people pretty much just like sort of hit it, you just like pour it into a solo cup and just,
Mm-hmm.
go that route. Um, but nobody ever, I think the highest I've ever been is like a 5. But I feel like as long as you're a high functioning drunk, you could go higher.
I mean, I think you can. I'm thinking about my family, and like, I think that, like, one, that would just be a good vibe overall, in my personal opinion.
Hmm.
So definitely higher than a 5, I think.
Well, again, it just depends on the family.
Yeah, and I mean, we could split hairs about that one all day.
Now, if you're talking about the family reunion after party,
There's an
different
after
story.
party? Okay, what's that?
Well, because again, we try to be very like try to hide the drinking, I guess, for the most part during the day if we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then usually we're all staying in a hotel because we're all over the place and we have to travel to wherever the reunion is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so after we get back from the reunion, which is like an all day affair for us, like Saturday from like 10 a.m. until like 6 p.m., we get back, we put on comfy clothes,
You
and
like
then
find the family members that you actually like.
we always know the family members that are invited. Like we know who those ones are. And we know whose room we pretty much always meet in because they always get a suite so that they have like couches and stuff. And then we just drink. I think I told you about the one we had last summer where we got kicked off of the outside patio at
Oh
the
yeah, you told
hotel.
me about the aftermath of that,
Yeah,
which was
that
damn,
was
I
that
did
was
not expect to hear that from you.
that was a 10 night. Yeah, yeah.
When am
So
I
just
gonna see? I need to see this.
yeah, I got real close weekend before last.
I need to see this. Like, I will not be satisfied with my life if I don't.
Yeah, it's like just gotta catch me on the right day.
I
I
know.
think you know.
That's the problem about us not being, again, even though we are like a danger to society and ourselves when we're together in the same room for like too long,
Yeah,
I feel like that's also the disadvantage of the fact that we don't live in the same city because I can never just like, you can never be like, hey, I'm turning the hell up, and I'll just be like, all right, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
yeah, that would be so nice.
That would be fantastic.
Well, I mean, this weekend
Maybe.
could be the time.
Maybe. Although I think I've said that every single time we have ever hung out. And has it happened yet? No.
But I think the difference is the weather is going to be lovely. And the nice weather significantly brightens my mood.
Yeah,
So it puts me more in that mindset. Also, that means we could potentially like sit outside and drink, just sit on the ground because I'm up for that.
that
Or
is
just
always
take
a
a
good
tour
time.
like we have before.
That is always a good time. We'll see. You'll be hearing about this next week anyway.
Yeah.
So, who knows? You'll find out. Hmm. Yeah, man, it is hard to think of if you're missing something, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I think our bases have been covered pretty well.
Yeah, I think those are the major ones. For some reason just popped in my head like what if you're at like a theme park? Yeah, theme park.
See, that's a tough one. Because if it's like Epcot, and
Yeah.
like it's not like a. Epcot is not like a really rides based theme park experience.
Yeah.
The point of Epcot is kind of just to walk around drinking.
Hmm.
So, like, that's like an 8, honestly, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But if you're gonna ride roller coasters,
2.
yeah,
That's
you don't
it.
want to yeah, making yourself sick. Oh, but like also if you were like dizzy and things were spinning a little and you get oh my God,
Yeah, no.
I don't want to even think
2.
about it.
That's it. But like Epcot, like I just walk around. Like again, the point is to walk around and drink. There's an 8.
Yeah. Ooh, a zoo. I know that sounds wild, but I went to the San Diego Zoo and they had these giant margaritas.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
I only got one of them, but it was pretty big. So I feel like I just feel like that sounds like a good time, getting drunk and just walking around and looking at cool animals.
See, I feel like the better thing to do at a zoo would be like to do at a zoo or an aquarium would be to do edibles.
Too.
And then
I
you
mean,
just like especially an
like,
aquarium. You Just stare at jellyfish? Are you kidding me? Like, that seems like the perfect activity for somebody who is zonked out of their mind.
Manatees.
Yeah. I love manatees so much.
Yeah, like I just feel like they would be the best to watch.
Yeah, because they just bump into things. That and,
Yeah,
like, jellyfish with their, like,
yeah. Well, I have a vendetta against jellyfish.
explain.
Got stung by one once.
When?
Actually, more than once at the same time.
When? Where? Why have I not heard this before?
I was like 12.
Okay.
Uh, I'd gone with a friend of mine and her parents to Seaside Heights, New Jersey for some time. I can't remember how long it was, like a week or something. Um, and I went into the ocean. Hey, this is one of the reasons why I don't like swimming in the ocean. Uh,
I'm
comes
still
back
gonna say
around.
weak, but okay.
But apparently it was I actually don't really know the reproductive cycle of jellyfish, but a bunch
Let's
of
just call
babies
it
had just,
jellyfish season.
yeah, well, like the babies had just appeared. I don't know if they like hatched or whatever it was that jellyfish do.
I think they
Uh,
hatch.
yeah, and there were tons of baby jellyfish, and I got little stings all over my legs, and they really burned.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't go in the ocean for a long time after that.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm
Well,
not a huge fan of jellyfish for that reason.
fair
This is
enough.
a 25-year vendetta.
Damn, okay. Noted.
Oh my god. I've I've had this vendetta as long as you've been alive.
Shut up.
Here's the math, man.
Oh, I hate it. I think that's gonna bring us to the weekly worsening. Please. I think this is this is the first time you've ever gone first. What are your things, bestie?
There's so many things. And you know what? I wrote them down. Um,
I'm so proud of you.
well, so I'll start with the fact that I got a tattoo uh,
Yeah.
with basically 24 hours after I suggested that some people and I get matching tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, just completely spontaneous.
Which, like, I love that for you.
That's what am I becoming? I'm just like, this
I
sounds fun.
think you're becoming
No, I'm joking.
cool. Not that you weren't cool already, but so let's say cooler.
So there's that. And then everything else is anime,
Great.
because one, I got my big Death Note box set here.
Beautiful.
Claire, it's gorgeous. There's Rem, right? It's like a little suitcase thing that opens. It's like super cool.
I love it.
Um, so there's that. I did get that like foot tall Chainsaw Man figure as
Mm-hmm.
well, which I think I'm sending back because hmm, what's the word? It did not look as good as it did in the pictures. I think I
Ew.
was deceived.
That sucks.
But also, um, I got some useful things.
Yeah, let's
Here's my
go!
here's my power horns, and I have the wig. I'm afraid to take it out of the package because like it's super duper long, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with it to make sure it doesn't tangle?
Oh,
Because
there's
it's like
things you can do for that. You get like it's this is one of the things that drag queens do for performing. You get a silicone spray for your wig so it like slides
yeah,
past each other.
yeah. But this is like waist length pink wig.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. That's gonna be so fun.
So, and oh man, I really want like the sort of jacket thing that she wears,
Mm-hmm.
but looking really closely at the pictures, it has a hood and it's buttoned down. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to be able to find something like that. So now I really want to make one. I
Girl,
thought about just like making it out of fabric, but what I really want is to knit one. So it will
I
have to
knew
wait.
that was coming.
It'll have to wait because I cannot do that in the next like 3 weeks or whatever it is.
That's fine.
But I will be knitting the exact sweater or whatever it is that she wears.
God damn, who are you? This is
Any
incredible.
crochet. And of course, I'm still working on my crochet teapot for to play Greg.
Yay.
It's all coming together.
Amazing. Actually, one of my weekly worsening things has to do with cosplay as well because I was talking with a bunch of people in the Ghost group chat. I was starting discourse about Papa Nihil again, but that's slightly beside the point. I realized how easy it would be for me to put together a cosplay of like young Papa Nihil from the music video for Kiss the Goat.
Hmm.
So now I'm doing that.
Oh, sure. It's always good to have more.
Like, I have the contacts for it. I'm gonna wear it to Saratoga Comic Con. Like, that's what I'm entering in the cosplay contest.
That is SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm. Like, I have the contacts for it. I don't have to do anything with my hair other than like actually blow dry it.
Mm.
I have black pants. I need to find a coat and like I need to find like a thrifted coat and put some fur trim on it, which will be super easy.
Yeah.
But I have to, not that being the kind of rabid ghost fan that I am isn't already blasphemous, but I have to get extra blasphemous and buy a priest shirt. So maybe maybe that has sealed my fate. We'll find out. Death Note Brain Rot continues. I bought the next two installments of the Black Edition of Death Note.
Man, I keep forgetting like things like we started watching Attack on Titan.
Yeah, we started watching we started watching Attack on Titan.
But also, how did I forget to mention that I am now subscribed
Yeah,
to Shonen?
you beat me to subscribing to Shonen Jump because I'm not letting myself until I finish Death Note.
Well, see, I haven't actually started reading Death Note yet. Because as soon as I finished Chainsaw Man, I like the printed books of it. I was like, well, they said that that was the end of Denji's story. Could it really be? And I'm like, well, now I got to find out. And just immediately went and subscribed and started. I read, I forget how many more chapters
As you
so
should.
far.
That'll be me very soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna get caught up with that, and then I'll go back to Death Note. But then also now I got like I forget how many series I saved on in my Shonen Jump account because
Several, I'm gonna guess.
Oh, a whole bunch because Spy Family is next on my list, and then and we're like, yeah, throw in some of those like popular ones like My Hero Academia and stuff like that.
I know jack shit about My Hero Academia.
Same, but I'm gonna learn
Cool.
when I get around.
Yeah. Who are we? I don't know anymore.
Anime stuff.
It's great. It's fun. Yeah. I don't really know where to go from there. So I think we're just gonna that's just gonna be us calling it for this week.
Like the my like main worsening categories are like anime and quilting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
I
fine.
don't know.
It's fine. I'm gonna say that it's fine. Alright, so as always, thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will be back again next week. Adios.
Later.
This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly and Dr. Sarah Brooks. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98 and at AndSarahSaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch and Facebook, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider donating to our Patreon for early access to episodes and fun bonus content. Thanks for listening!